up, guys? I'm Matt Reisinger.
And I'm Jordan with Studpack.
And today we are on the road just north of Houston, and we're going to find out the top 5 things they learned from the build show. Let's get going.
I don't know if you guys know my older brother, Paul, from Studpack.
Older brother?
Well, younger brother, Paul, actually.
I am older.
Paul's 41, and I'm 51. You guys know Studpack, right? They've been building this awesome house right outside of Houston. I'm down here visiting for the day. Paul, you and your boys, they're doing a heck of a job on this build, man.
Thanks so much for coming down, and it's been one of the highlights of my life lately, just to build this place with my son and my son-in-law.
That's pretty awesome. Yep. So this is actually Jordan, your son's house, and he's going to be building another house next to this, but you started with kind of the garage apartment first, right?
Right. He literally bought the worst house in the best part of town. So he's living here.
Smart.
He's going to move upstairs, full bathroom, full kitchen. We'll bulldoze this or try to find somebody to haul it away for free and then build the main house there. And then the second floor of the main house and the second floor of the garage, the apartment, will be connected by an enclosed bridge.
Okay.
And that design was drawn, on a napkin at a pizza shop here. And it just evolved into this. That's how it all starts, right? On a napkin.
I've been following your progress. You guys are doing some good details here. Now, I gotta say though, I noticed a couple things that I might have done some videos on. Was there any build show influence on this project at all?
It's totally possible we watched a couple of your videos. You wanna go check it out?
I love it. Today's build show, top 5 Matt Reisinger details. Let's get going.
Here we go. All right, number 1, Matt, was this 1-inch thick PVC board that I bought to put behind all the electrical equipment. So we didn't have to run siding up to it and try to get it behind the conduit and these tiny spaces all the way around.
Oh man, you know what? I can tell that you have remodeled before, because how many times have you and I tried to remodel a house and pull siding, and there's all this crappy siding running behind your panel box, that now you got to get an electrician, you got to get the city to pull the meter. It's a massive pain.
It is.
On the other hand, this 1-inch PVC, which by the way, you put a nice little chamfer on there, didn't you?
I did. Because it's a pretty sharp edge when it comes off the saw, and I have to say, before I cut it, you've heard of measure once, cut, no.
Measure twice, cut once.
So I measured 4 times and cut it once.
This is not an inexpensive piece of PVC.
$500, but I convinced Jordan it's going to be worth it when we can just run the siding right up to it. And not only here, but on the receptacles outside, the mini splits that are mounted out here, the sconces, the hose bibs, everything's going to be nice.
And special order too, right? It's not like this is on the shelf anywhere.
Special order, and everybody at the lumber yard couldn't wait to see the guy who picked this up. What are you using that for, and why'd you spend so much?
So in my house, Paul, I did a pretty similar detail, but I had some 2x10 PVCs that I just stacked together. And then I put a head flash on the top and butted my siding just like you, and I was good to go.
Cool.
I love it.
Yep, so we're going to have underground service, 400 amp, 200 amp disconnect for the garage, 200 amp disconnect for the main house, and in this panel, you can see we've got 8 slots for breakers, so if Jordan decides to put in a pool, we come right out of the bottom of this, shoot to the backyard, he's good to go. We don't have to try to tie into a panel that's inside the house and put another hole in our WRB.
Very smart. And by the way, PVC, no rot.
No rot.
No issues with painting. Touch up those screw heads, call it good.
Call it good.
Love it. Let's
All
go
right.
inside and see what number 2 is.
All right, number 2, Matt, is right here on the garage door. On the back of the garage, we brought our zip inside, so effectively bringing our WRB, our water resistant barrier, to the inside. Because as a remodeler, we always struggle with is this rotten jack stud right here, and not just on garage doors, but on windows and entry doors as well.
Yep, for sure. I noticed that all of your windows and doors upstairs, also you wrap this in. Now you got to remember your rough opening size is getting adjusted there,
That
right?
was the trickiest part, because I had to add an inch to all the widths, an inch to the height on the windows, and a half an inch to the height on the doors.
Yeah, you got to be a little careful of that. Now, if you didn't do that, another option like I did in my house, and it costs a little bit more money, but you could have gone stretch tape or standard zip tape all the way in, and you could have also done that at your header and your sills. Right. Slightly more money.
We had a ton of rips, and I thought it's going to look so cool, so we just did it that way.
That was a good call.
And then come on down here to the bottom.
Yep.
We're going to liquid flash right here.
Okay.
But we can't get liquid flash there, so we just put zip tape around the bottom edge of the OSB.
Oh, that's smart. So that bottom edge is protected now.
Right.
Yeah, that was a great call.
Yeah.
Good job. Now, did I notice, Paul, that you've got an insulated header going on in your garage? Why are you worried about insulating your garage header?
Well, another tip we picked up from your channel, we're gonna have a mini split in the garage just to take the, the heat off.
I love it.
Get it down to 80 or whatever, and in the wintertime, warm it up a little.
I did that in my house, and I absolutely love it. However, here's one tip that I messed up. You probably don't have young kids at your house like I do. But when my wife leaves, sometimes she leaves the garage door open.
Oh.
And I'll get home and think, how long have I been air conditioning the
neighborhood?
The neighborhood. I think that I could have probably wired, and I may need to retrofit this, a kill switch. So when my garage door is up, it kills the power to my mini split. So you might look into that just in case. Although I don't think Jordan has little kids around the house.
Right, and it's really
Not yet anyways.
Not yet. And it's really going to help us here because this is going to be our main workshop when we build the main house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed too, Paul, zip system everywhere on the outside. What'd you think about working with zip?
I loved it. Huge shout out to Huber and the team over there. Never used it before. Always wanted to try it. This tape is amazing, as well as the stretch tape. Love it. And you probably noticed we monopoly framed it.
Oh, I was wondering.
And we applied the eaves and the overhangs after the fact.
Killer. So when we go upstairs then, those trusses you got from Builder's First Source are clipped at the wall so that your zip system goes all the way up and your trusses die into that. So now your roof sheathing is getting taped to your wall sheathing, right?
Right, right.
That's killer, man. I saw the video on that. By the way, guys, go check out all the Studpack videos, but they got a great video on how they monopoly framed it. And you guys used some crazy methods for setting trusses on a 2-man or 3-man crew day.
Does it have anything to do with a boat winch?
You guys got to go over and see that. Way to go, man.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, let's go see the next one.
All right. Oh, hey, Matt, before you go upstairs, there's something I want to show you right here that we also picked up from your channel. Check it out. We're going to have a hose bib on the outside of the building here, but we want to go with a frost-free one, right?
Yeah.
So you'll notice right there.
Is that one of those Aquor hose bibs?
It is. Big shout out to them for
out.
providing those.
That's awesome. So this is a stainless hose bib.
Correct.
And this shuts back, I don't know, 10, 12 inches back into the wall. And so because you've got a 2x6 wall, that wouldn't work. So what'd you do here, Paul?
Well, we had to put it in a space where it would project into, in our case, a wall.
Yep.
A lot of times they'll put it in a cabinet, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to be like this. So this is where they'll connect it. And then you need an access panel to service it if you ever need to. So we'll put an access panel here and one on the back, and never have to worry about those little foam covers anymore.
Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. By the way, I did a test a long time ago on these where I took a bunch of these Aquor hose bibs and did some standard brass hose bibs. I broke a chest freezer by drilling them in, put a bunch of dry ice so the chest freezer was like -30. And I was shocked by how much frost happened on the inside and the outside because this got so cold. And the stainless, because stainless is not a good conductor, barely moved any heat, but the brass actually had a bunch of condensation inside the wall cavity of the simulation. So these stainless, really, really nice, and I think they're gonna last a long time.
Yeah, it comes with a cool cover, and can't wait to use them. So tired of the old faucet that we've all grew up with the handle that gets broken. So that's gonna be great.
So now we're transitioning from garage to upstairs, right? Oh man, look at this space, Paul. This is nice. I saw the videos where you guys rolled these trusses, but boy, these are some really big trusses. Nice storage space in here.
Yep, and does it look bigger or smaller now that you're here? It is huge, isn't it? Yeah, I love the views.
Really big.
I love the fact that the three of us built it and now we can stand up here.
Oh my gosh,
it's a great feeling.
Cool. So what'd you do from my channel upstairs? Anything that you stole from watching my videos?
So have you ever built anything with a 2x3?
2x3? No, I've not done any 2x3s
It's pretty
before.
much kindling, right? There's no such thing as a good 2x3. But I think most of the houses in America are built with something just an inch bigger, a 2x4.
Yeah.
Well, we did 2x6s on the complete downstairs for the exterior walls and on some of the walls upstairs. And I gotta say, I love 2x6s on the exterior walls.
Yeah, I can see that.
It helps with the mechanicals, more insulation.
Yeah, so for instance, this bath wall, switch to 2x6s. Now you actually have room for insulation and your piping on an exterior wall like this. I also saw this video. You guys put a sweet little wall hung toilet system in.
Yeah. So when we posted this video, we got a ton of comments about some guy on YouTube that put one in his house
and punctured
punctured it. So they said, man, you better put some steel there. So we
The
did.
no puncture zone. Way to go. All my OG Build Show fans know exactly what I did at my house. My cabinet guy put a screw in the back of the tank in my kids' bathroom where I use one of these to save space. I had a tiny bathroom. And when we turned the water on, it was raining downstairs. And we had this oh crap moment of what happened. Screw through the tank.
Yep.
I don't think you have that problem here.
Nope.
It was on an outside wall. Was this done for me, or was that actually your?
That's just for you.
That's hilarious. Way to go. The tip though is plumbing walls go 2x6. That's a really smart tip. I actually messed that up on my house. On several, well, at least one wall in particular, 2x4 with plumbing in it. I also had a medicine cabinet. It was a nightmare getting everything in. It was an interior wall, not an outside wall. But anytime you got plumbing in a wall, you really should upgrade to 2x6.
Yep, and speaking of the 2x6s, let's go up here to the front gable
Okay.
and tell you why I really wish we'd used 2x6s there.
Okay.
So we framed the bottom 2x4 section of the wall on our floor, stood it up,
Yep.
put a truss on top. Woo! And man, when I came over here, the next day, this shook it was unbelievable how much it shook, and I knew it wouldn't pass inspection, and I knew it wasn't up to our standards.
Yep.
So we tossed around a ton of ideas about how to fix it. So what we ended up with was an LVL. We ripped it to a 2x4, 3.5,
Okay, yeah.
and it goes from the sill plate all the way up to the roof, which meant we had to cut the cord with the approval of the manufacturer.
On a gable truss.
Yep.
Yep.
And our two bottom top plates. So then we put the metal strap to reconnect the top plates, and it is way better.
Solid.
Probably 90% better. Not where I want it to be, but it's the best we could do.
That's crazy. You know, I framed my whole house in LVLs. It was really expensive, but man, is it solid. I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend that in hindsight. But when you've got a wall like this that's really tall and maybe has quite a bit of load on it and or no bracing really happening, no intersecting T-walls, makes a big difference.
Well, and these huge openings too. We had minimal space for framing, but I would have done the whole wall, the gable end as well, on the ground, stood it up with 2x6s top to bottom.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well done.
Definitely do that on the main house.
Yeah, absolutely in the main house. Paul, so good to hang out with you, man. Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for making the drive. Awesome having you here.
If you don't know the Studpack guys, Paul, his son Jordan, his son-in-law Rad, doing a fantastic job. They've been remodeling for years, but this is your first new construction, right?
Very first new construction.
And they learned several things from the build show they put into practice, but they're smart builders who realized, especially because you've been remodeling all those years, hey, this isn't just some dumb detail like putting your waterproofing into your full rough opening. This is something that really makes a difference for long-term durability.
Exactly. It's going to make the difference between a house that lasts 30, 40 years and a house that lasts 100 or more,
I totally
in my
agree.
opinion. Yeah.
I totally agree. You guys are doing a great job. Go check them out over on their Studpack channel, and I'll put a link to a couple of their videos. This gable framing video is a great one. They just finished up some framing out here on a porch. We're actually going to shoot a video about some window installs. Really great channel. They're doing some really good work. That being said, guys, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. You know we've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow us on Instagram or TikTok. Otherwise, I'll see you next time on The Build Show.
Thanks, brother.
Way to go, dude.